Here's a variation of Dank you could play. You could set up the 8 cops on one direction and the 8 stoners on the other direction. One plays cops, one plays stoners trying to get to the houses. And in between, you set up all the road pieces so they connect like a crossword, just by randomly pulling and then connecting where you can, and then switching things around so you can connect, and then play the game. That's one variation that you can do of Dank. Another one you could do is like I have, where it's the 8 cops facing backwards and then the stoners in front of them, and then randomly you set up the road as you go to try to get to the houses or arrested. Or one person picks the houses and one picks arrested. So it could be stoners versus cops, or you can play it where you start out that way, but you also have control over the cops if they get in your way to push them into an alcove or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's why that's there. Like, majority of the way you're playing stoner, majority of the way the other person is playing the cop, and if they get a little too close, you can boof it out of the way. The third person extension will be called Super Dank, and I have part of that. I had to order in pieces because I wasn't sure what would be going with it or not, but then I ordered the sticker to make it Super Dank separately. And you have the blobs of boredom, and then you have the blobs of fascination. That's hard to read. That's a little bit of a flaw, but you know, it's not really necessary. You just throw the pink one at the blue one. And you can play as though you're the blob, and you have your 4, or I'm sorry, you actually have 8. You have 8 of the blob, and then you have 8 of the cops, and you have 8 of the stoners, and then you play that way. Each person has a different character with different abilities and different weaknesses. With the cops, they have to ping you. What would that be called? They have to warn you before they arrest you, placing the red token on top of the green one. So they have a superpower kind of where they can go any direction on any of the road pieces. So that's explained in the rules too, is the cops can go any direction on the road pieces just like the boredom blobs can. But you have to have a straight road to knock them out with the fascination fireball, or whatever you want to call it, blob. It's really pretty looking though. So then you have the stoners and the cops doing different things, and then the blob doing different things, trying to capture these stoners. The stoners are just trying to get to the house. The blobs are trying to get the stoners. The stoners can shoot those blobs, and then the cops are trying to arrest, and the blobs are trying to like abduct because they're an alien. You look on the back of the card, there's a little alien in a UFO. It's cute. So each person can play a different way, and then you're gonna get 2 more, and the next one after that, I think, Hella Dank, and then another one out of Effin' Dank, and then another one out of Goddamn Dank. Goddamn Dank has extra road pieces, and it's going to have a princess that when she's connected to you, you're immune. And you can play as the princess too, I guess. It's kind of up to you. I mean, it's a creative game where you have your own ways to play if you want. I'm just listing some ways that you could possibly play the game. So, stoners versus cops, where the road's all set up, and then you race to get to the houses before you get arrested. And that's another way you can play it. Or you can play at the line of 8, and then you lay down one by one the road pieces to get to the home, and you control both sides. So there's many ways that you can play this game. I'm just giving you suggestions of ways that you can play it. The whole point of Dank is a creative exercise for the player. You can move the roads around. There's all sorts of freedom in this game. And there's suggestions of how you can play if you don't want to be creative.